Hello. Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the organizing committee, I want to welcome you all to this function. It is our pleasure that you took your time to be available to today's function, and we do not take it for granted that you have chosen to join us today. My name is Praise Makanjira, and I will be your master of ceremony for today's function. As we are well aware, of course, some of us are aware of this fact because we have been following this these sessions, and this is the third session of the legal gender legal life skills series, and this is actually the third session. Uh, Today's event is a meaningful one as we come together to discuss safety on campus. So we are narrowing it down. This is more practical and more different from the one we had earlier. They were more broad, but then this one we are focusing mainly here on our campus. So we have well prepared our program, and we are focused on raising awareness about safety, sharing important information, and engaging in discussion that will help us all stay safe here on campus. So I really encourage all of you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the proceedings and follow keenly. Uh, at this point in time, I would like to recognize the distinguished guests. First of all, I recognize Dr. Gertrude Stolo, who is the Dean of Student Affairs. Uh, well, of course, to my knowledge, is not available yet. Uh, and I also recognize Mr. Henry Banda, who is the Security Liaison Officer of MUBES. Of course, MUBES. uh, Also recognize Counsel Shigele Shira, who is the Assistant Director of Legal Aid Bureau and the head of Southern Region Offices, and of course, part-time lecturer at the university here. Um, and I also recognize Ms. Kumbo Chilimila, an associate lecturer in banking and finance at this school. And I also recognize the head of Department of the School of Law and Economics, Mrs. Eva Mfuso Bengo. And I also recognize the Estates and Facilitated Committee, which, to my knowledge, I suppose they'll be present here. So to begin with our program, I would like to invite a volunteer to lead us in prayer. A volunteer from the audience, please. Anyone? Thank you, Nancy.
Let's bow our heads and pray. Thank you, God, for the wonderful day you have given us. Father, as we have gathered here, may you be with us, may you start with us and with us. In Jesus' name we are prayed. Amen.
Amen. A lot of applause to the volunteer, please. Yeah, so, yeah, of course, we're aware that she's made herself available recently, but then to begin our program, I would like to invite Dr. Gertrude Storo, who is the Dean of Student Affairs, to give us the opening remarks. But before she comes here, let me give you a background of who she is. Dr. Gertrude Storo is the Dean of Student Affairs. She's the one organizing the orientation for first year students, and she is dedicated in issues to do with housing, scholarships, loan board issues here at this school. She deals with a population of about 10,000 plus students, and today, to our understanding, she would be on leave, and we deeply appreciate that she has taken the time to come here. We appreciate it, madam. Uh, she works hand in hand, of course, with the security liaison officer, Henry Banda, who is also in attendance today, as I mentioned earlier. So those of you who attended the phase 2 sessions may be aware that we did a small survey on safety issues, and we're also going to include that in our session today. Madam, I invite you to the stage, and please let's clap hands.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Greetings this afternoon. Let me recognize the presence of the facilitators who are our guests. Council Chira, welcome. Let me also recognize the presence of the head of department. Welcome, madam. And also another facilitator, Ms. Kumbo Chirimira, and also the Security Liaison Officer, Mr. Banda. Let me join our colleague who spoke earlier in welcoming everyone. And we thank the Department of Economics and Law for facilitating these sessions on Gender Legal Life Skills series. Today is one of the sessions under the theme, Be Heard, Be Right, and Be Safe. This should be the third, if I'm not wrong. And today's topic is specifically looking at safety on campus. So this is something that maybe we may take it for granted that people know. Because we have a session when we welcome our first year students, but probably during that week, during the orientation week, there is a lot to learn, and it might be difficult to grasp each and every aspect that is on the program for us during that week. But we have an opportunity this week, specifically today, that we revise what we talked about earlier, and also maybe to those that were not around that time, they get a chance to know what the issues to do with safety on campus. So it's a very commendable job for the department to have these sessions in conjunction with other external stakeholders, and we really appreciate that you are taking this initiative to inform the students and the community at large. So this information is about being informed, being proactive, and also taking part in each and every step and in the discussion that comes along on the program. It is your chance as a student to ask questions and interact with the facilitators and all those who are here, for you to be informed and also get to know each and every aspect that you're not aware of or you were in doubt, because the security and our safety is one of the priorities that MOBAS is looking at, because we would want to have a safe environment for both students and the members of staff. So feel free to interact with all the members, and we say thank you to the facilitators for accepting the invitation to interact with our students and the community at large. Welcome.
Yeah, that was not enough. Once again, let's give a round of applause for the Dean of Students Affairs. Yeah, that was a great presentation. And of course, I noted that we've been encouraged to be engaged in daily conversations with the committee and the ones that facilitated this issue to do with safety on campus. And drawing on from that, I would like to introduce the security liaison officer of MOBAS, Henry Banda. I would like to invite him here so that he makes introduction of who he is, because as he has already said that we're supposed to be engaging with these people. And from what I'm saying here, it seems she's the one directing, he's the one dealing with issues to do with security and safety here on campus. So, sir, I invite you here.
Thank you. In short, I should say all protocols observed. As you've heard, I'm Henry Banda, head of security at MUBAS. If you are not safe, it really becomes a challenge to us. That's why we are very happy to have this session, because as highlighted by Dean of Students, we always have these sessions each and every time when we have, especially the first years, we interact with them. But most of the time, it becomes difficult for them to grasp each and every detail, because there are so many presentations during that period. Now, these sessions will always help us to make sure that our students take with them all the tips which may be of help in their well-being, more especially their stay here at MUBAS. Our offices, we work hand in hand with the Office of the Director of Students Affairs, and they are located next to Potter's Lodge. If you're going to Finance Department, to your right, there are offices that side. We are always open, and you can make calls at any time when you have issues. We'll always be there for you. We'll always come in. Even the Director of Students Affairs knows. Sometimes he has even visited my home during the night, maybe around 1 a.m. Why? To make sure that our students are safe. So feel free, anytime you have questions, you have issues to do with your safety and security, be open. Our offices are open. If you have cases, especially these criminal cases, feel free, let us know. And don't dare to go and report to police without informing us, because each and every time there are issues, police are supposed to come through our office. They're supposed to come through my office, so that as office, we are aware that our student is passing through these issues, and we have to inform the management about the issues that are at hand. So from now on, never dare go to police. Whether the investigator whosoever calls you to say, we are officers, police officers from such a police station, we want you to come. Just tell them that I'll come with the security officer and visit the officers from the security, and then I'll come. Okay? That's the procedure that we have. Why? We don't want you to be abused. We don't want you to go through these other difficult times. We want you to feel at home. So we'll always be there for you. And as I've said, our offices, if you have an issue, we keep privacy issues we take that as a very serious issue. At no time you hear the issue involving our student being discussed out there. Even the issue, if you have reported it to our office, to hear it being discussed somewhere else. No. The Director of Students Affairs is aware. There are so many cases that we have dealt with, and we have managed to keep them private, because we know and understand the right to privacy. So always do that way. Thank you very much. If you have any questions to do with those issues and some of the issues that may be of my interest, I'll be able to respond to our issues. Thank you very much.
Another round of applause for the security liaison officer. Yeah, Kani yaonekana ndio serious kwambie because when he was presenting he said kudi even at night during odd hours a certain time the director of student affairs zinapezeka kuti mpaka she went to visit him at night, which means kuti izinto zizinza serious kwambie, and issues to do with security and safety do not have time limited zimatha kuchitika usiku chani. They also noted another important thing was we should be following protocol. Yeah? If something happens here to do with security, there is no way that you should be going directly to the police without visiting him. And this is one of the reasons this session is being held today. We should be aware of how we should be following this protocol. And of course, he did not mention it, but then he himself has been a prosecutor for 10 years. And he said he knows he deals with criminal cases. That's something you have to clap hands for. Another round of applause, guys. Yeah. So at this moment, let me invite Miss Kumbo Chilimila. So yeah, those of you who attended the first 2 sessions may be aware that we did a small survey on safety issues on campus. Ms. Kumbo Chilimila will share some of the findings with us and may also have some pieces of advice for us. Well, she's an associate lecturer in banking and finance at the Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences. She holds a background in finance and economics and is passionate about leadership, ethical governance, and creating inclusive spaces within academic and professional environments. Beyond academics, Kumbo actively works in community leadership and youth development. She currently serves as the president, as the president of the Rotaract Club of Blantyre, where she leads in initiatives focused on community service, empowerment of young people, and advocacy for social issues, including gender equity and the protection of vulnerable groups. Through her work in education and community service, Kumbo is committed to promoting awareness, accountability, and respect for environments where students and young professionals can thrive safely. Monado introduction, ladies out, these sessions are held, they also deal with gender. So ladies out there, I hope that this is a great motivation for you. You say that she's, from how she'll be presenting, you say that she's a great person. But then for now, she'll only focus on tips or on staying safe. And afterwards, that's going to give the results of safety survey. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause while she'll be coming here.
Good afternoon. I see some of my students here, so I'm very happy. Before I start, I just wanted to explain something about the background that he mentioned. When it comes to Rotaract Club of Blantyre, I think I've mentioned this to my students before. It's a community outreach group. It's part of Rotary International. You can Google Rotary International if you want to know about it. But what we do is we go towards communities that need our help. So one of the focus areas that I am very passionate about is girl child empowerment. So one of the projects that we did, we raised funds to donate about 500 reusable pads to secondary school students at Gisiru CDSS in Mulanje. We raised funds, we partnered with National Bank of Malawi, and we've managed to grow it from Gisiru to 6 other secondary schools in rural areas. Why? Girl children, if you stay in town, it's easier. You can buy your pads and go to class. But in the village, that's not the case. They miss classes because they are on their periods, they're on their menses. That means they're not getting the education that the boy child is getting. So why not help that girl to be on the same level as the boy child and make sure that that girl has the same opportunities that the boy child has? Being on your period should not make you stop going for classes. So that's something that I'm passionate about as well. When it comes to safety on campus, I used to be a student here. At that time, it was Polytechnic. But there are certain instances where we used to have evening classes. We had a part-time lecturer that used to work at an NBS bank. So he would only come at 6 p.m. And he was adamant about that. I think nowadays, the power dynamics have shifted. Students, you have power to speak out. Our time, that was not the case. You take what you're given. If I say I'm coming at 6, if you don't want, you can stay. So at least he was a bit accommodating. He would say, okay, if you stay my route when I'm going home, I'll pick you up and then I'll drop you off. So it'd be maybe 6 students. He used to stay, I think, in Chilega, if I'm not wrong. So he'd drop those around and then go. Some of us who were day scholars would have to wait for our parents, so have to walk all the way this side, because I used to learn at Florence House. So you can't stay there at 8 p.m. alone. You must go on campus. At least maybe you find people that are studying or whatever. So this path here, there were no lights. And I remember we were leaving class, and as we were walking, it was actually rainy season. We saw a snake. It was a mess, right? So we went back to him and said, okay, I think the evening classes are not working. He said, okay, but that's what I can do for you. Unless you go to your HOD and you request for another lecture. Mind you, you've already written mid-semester exams. So we persevered. Some of myself, I would now tell my dad that please come and be there. Don't make me tell you to come on main campus, just come this side. But now imagine the one who's not, doesn't have that privilege. They were facing safety issues, right? So my presentation, I'm not really going to beam anything. I want it to be a bit interactive. I want to ask you a question. If your phone or wallet was stolen today, would you be able to contact someone you trust? If your phone and wallet was stolen today, would you be able to contact someone you trust? Would you? No. How many of you have memorized your parents' phone numbers? Parents, okay. Your best friend? Because your parent could be in Karonga, could be in Lilongwe. So you call him and then what? What is he going to do? Now he must start trying to find ways to reach you, right? Your friend is the one you should be able to contact, right? So what steps are you taking to make sure that if that happens, you're still safe? Right? So safety is not about reacting. You're supposed to be proactive. Today, the tips that I'm going to give you today, you must implement them in order to be safe when something like that happens. Because when we're attacked or when we're robbed on campus or as we're going to our hostels, then now we start, okay, hey, now, hey, Baba. Also, you're in a state of shock. But in that state, everyone who's going to meet you, okay, you understand? So you, the only person you know is your mother. Your mother is all the way in Lilongwe. Hey, now you call your mother also start panicking. Then I know my mother. My mother panics very easily. Small things, she will spiral. So some of your mothers are exactly like that. Your fathers, your aunties, your guardians, exactly. You tell them a small thing. You know what? I just forgot my wallet. Hey, manawanga, hey, manawanga. So you need someone on campus that you feel safe with, right? That's the person you must memorize the number. Your mom and dad, sure. I memorized my parents' numbers when I was in primary school. In case someone ever, just say, hey, you can call. But now here, your parent is not going to be able to quickly assist you, all right? Two, something I learned very, very quickly. This day and age, there's no reason for you to walk around with cash. Your card is enough. Cash. If you're walking around with cash, my advice is always have emergency cash on you and don't keep cash in your wallet. If you have cash, that's where the thieves go because we know that's where you keep the money. All right? For me, you can take my best. There's no cash, not even once. Actually, I always say this, and whenever I'm traveling, my dad is like, "Komado mugenda long distance. Akakugwira na police nkaona konko. Inasimenda ndi cash. Even toll gate, I'll swipe with the card. It's a possibility, yeah? Why? In case something happens, you can take the cards. I'll just cancel them, and I'll still be able to access my money. Understand? But sometimes I'm learning it's good to have emergency cash because not all of us are safe. Not all of us go in a car. Some of us are using public transport. So where the thief goes is your pocket to get the purse or your bag to get your wallet. What we do, females, you have a safety cash. You can have 10,000. Something happens. I should have this 10,000. Bra. Bra. If not in the bra, look at my friend here. He's wearing shoes. Even if they steal his shoes, they're not going to take his sock. You put in the sock. As a man, you put in the sock. Something happens. Some thieves have no shame. They'll even steal your shoes. But they'll not steal your sock because they say, so paka sock was boss. You're so very I don't see no, but then the end no bear. Mulikash. But Sulimbananda Ogube, please don't fight. That's when they attack, yeah? Just let them take because you know you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. Another thing, what systems can you create in your communities as students to look out for each other on campus? This was a question that was in the survey where some of you were answering that, you know, we travel in groups, yeah? As you're going off campus, timaenda kagulu okhala kuchichiri timaenda limodzi mwindima slot ena manyamuka ka 8 ena 10 ena midnight, right? Now what if you want to leave at 7? Are you going to wait until 8? You wait. Hey. Okay. So that's the strategy that you're doing, making sure you're traveling in those slots, I think there was a student I met when I just started teaching. She informed me that she was robbed as she was going, but there were two. They were working Antwawili. And Zageo, Potawa, Anatawa, Sanaganisa Susan Zageo, and I'm going, I'm going to go your bag. Potawa, I'll go get help. Comes back, the friend obviously is distraught, but the friend was the one who lost stuff, but this one didn't. So I do advise, that's one thing I wanted to say, I do advise walking in groups. And in the group, even though sometimes, let there be a man in the group. Females, don't walk females only. Yes, gender dynamics, yes, but you know, our instinct sometimes as females is flight, yeah? Or instinct sometimes, you know, you start crying, you start being, it's natural, it's okay. Sometimes guys also do cry, but usually it's the females. When we're under pressure, and I know myself, when I'm under pressure, I cry very easily. I'm not even going to lie to you, I cry. But that doesn't help in the situation. I'm crying, so what? There must be someone there who must be, you know? You actually try to fight back. As he's fighting you, you take something and you run, you know? A man must be in the group. Females only, thieves are more or less, if you've encountered the thief before, they're usually male, right? If they see females, baba ndedi bigulapa. Koma kaona kwa nyamata awiri atatu ndakhaleso anyamata ngati brothers apo tangota groupie DC. They are protected, you understand? Okay. So number 2, if your wallet is stolen, emergency contact, if it's National Bank, even though it's a long waiting period, but it's 626. Okay? You cancel your card. You tell them, my card is lost. Even what the advice is, even if you've misplaced and you can't find it, because these days, you know, you can tap POS. I think limit at first it was 2,000, now it's 20,000. Sometimes even 50 goes through. Yeah, 50 above. 50 can go, just tapping. And I'm winning 50,000 account. When I'm going to card, I'm going to ta yadusa. So to be safe, you know what they do? They don't do 50. They'll start doing 5, 5, 5. You've lost your phone. You're not going to get there late. But the money is what? Going. So immediately when you lose or misplace your card, you don't know where it is, and you're sure you were moving around, someone has stolen it or whatever, cancel the card, get a new card. Then you're safe. All right? What else? Let me open my note. Emergency contact system. If you know you can't memorize your best friend's number, write it on a piece of paper, put it in your sock, put it next to your emergency cash. That way, something happens, you simply say, pass a number and please, this must be someone that is actually your friend. Because some of us, we think this one is my friend. And I can say the head is my friend. But to her, she'll be like, no, we're not friends. Yeah? But you know who your friend is. It should not even just be one person. You can have 3 people in your circle. If you use iPhone, I always activate Find My. So my parents' locations are linked to mine. Anywhere I am, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Because at home, I'll tell you a secret, even though this is on live, I hope my father does not see this. Last week, I told him, you know what, I'm going for Rotaract trivia. And I went with my friends, and he just checked location, because it happens at TJ's. He's usually by Filling Station. If you've gone to Filling Station, that's where my dad is. So I always go there. So he saw, why is this telling me that you are close to Amaryllis and not right next to me? I said, I didn't think you're going to check it, but I know I was just dropping off your friends. Okay, fine. So at least someone knows where I am. Even though you know you can, whatever, but someone will be able to pick up where you are. It's also good to find your phone. You can use Find My to find your phone if someone takes it. For Android users, it's the same thing. You can share your location with people. Live location. If you know you're starting off from Bida Wawud, share your location to someone. Share your location to a group of friends. You can even create a group. Location Yangandi, it's going to be active for 24 hours. Something happens, those people are going to be questioning it. And it must be people that you rely on, because they should be constantly checking, and you should update each other. Oh, I'm home now. So that they at least stop checking for your location. Next, back up your contacts. I saw this, someone posted this, I think 3 weeks ago. She used to be a student here. So her contacts were linked to the MUBAS email. Now, MUBAS email, they kick you out when you finish. She lost her contacts. So she had to start posting, please guys, text me your name. Please repost so that people text me with their names. And she has a business that she's running. Back up your contacts. Don't link them to a school email or a work email for those that are watching outside. Link it to your personal email, because that's yours. No one is going to take that away from you. You can always log in on a different device and you have your contacts again. All right. Let me open it for some questions that you can have for me, if you have, from what I've presented. Yes. Oh.
It's not a question, but I just wanted to add on what you've said, especially something to do with working in groups. The best I can advise is avoid working in groups, because of the experience that this has shown. Okay? During our presentations, all the previous presentations that we've had with the Director of Students Affairs, we have always been advising students to work in groups. But these criminals keep on changing their tactics now and again, okay? To the extent that there was a case where some female students thought that they are safe because they had some boys or men. They saw muscular men. But do you know what happened? When these criminals brought in their panga knives, these men were the first to run, leaving these women or these girls vulnerable to these attacks. You see? So sometimes you can feel that, no, yes, I have these people who are there for me. But when those things are happening, they happen so fast to the extent that the one whom you trust to say, this is the strong man who would protect us, is the first person to run. Okay? So the best is, yes, maybe around 6, 7, 8 or thereabout. You can move in groups. And if we say move in groups, others, what we have observed is that you're moving in groups, but you are busy on your phone. You are moving in groups, but you are busy texting, whatsoever. That also exposes you from these attacks because you don't know where your friends are. The distance between yourself and your friends, you don't know that because you are busy communicating. But at the same time, you are giving those criminals a sign that I have something of value. So you can come and steal. You see? Things like those. So the most appropriate is, we have, I think there's a list of some taxis around whatsoever. So others, what they do is they'll normally organize maybe 4, 5 or thereabout. Then they'll take, they'll inform the taxi driver to say, we are ready. And these are the taxis whom even the Office of Director of Students Affairs knows, and our office knows, okay? Because even these other taxis, you can feel like these taxi operators, but they're criminals as well, okay? So use these as a mode of transport. Once you're done, you call the taxi guy, he'll pick you up and drop you to your respective homes. Thank you.
I opened for questions if there are any. Or comments. Maybe you want to share your experience as well. Do you have an experience? Huh? Do you have one? No? Okay. Oh, sure. Yes, Dosa.
Yes, just on the same topic, we keep on stressing because we know if we just talk about it once, we may forget. Apart from relying or not relying, moving in groups, it's always safer to take the long route. They always say a shortcut is always wrong, isn't it? What do they say? Not that. Shortcuts are wrong cuts, right? So we have those who are residing in Chitawira, not Chinyonga, but Chitawira, Naperi, Nkolokosa. They usually use those shortcuts, right? You cross the river there and the other side, maybe Queens. It's better to take the long route and be safe because it's very unusual to hear that somebody has been attacked along the roundabout to Kwacha or thereabout because there is always traffic, people moving around, even those on cars and what have you. But we often get complaints of students being attacked around these places that we've talked about, along the shortcuts to Chitawira. So it's better to be safe, use the long cut. It doesn't matter that you be there late. We know you're tired, you want to be home soon and relax, but it's better to be safe. The other cases that have been recorded at our office, students are in the hostel, especially the private ones. They have their gadgets close to the window. They go to the toilet, they're back, the gadgets are gone. So that's something that you should also be aware of. If, okay, sometimes it slips our minds. You may not think that things will happen very fast.
it's always advisable to take care of your stuff, and not only when you're moving around, even when you're in the hostel. You know, you dash out shortly, you're back, but you don't know whether you find your gadgets or you whatever things that you put to, close to the window. If they're still there, they may vanish, and you look around, there's nobody. So please, even when you're sleeping, those who have been robbed at night, you find that they would say, no, we were all asleep, and maybe the window was slightly open, but the gadgets were close to the window. Please put them at a safe place.
These are experiences, okay? These are the issues that come to our offices on daily basis, what she is talking about. I just wanted to add on what she has said, of leaving your valuable items unattended, or you leave them to a person whom you don't know. You just have that feeling that this one is my friend. This one is also a student, even in the library. Okay, we have received so many cases, even in the library. Someone comes from somewhere else, studying in the library, and he wants to do something outside. Then he will say, my friend, you should be checking my laptop and my items here. I'm coming shortly. Okay? Then goes out, maybe to answer the call of nature, maybe to chat on the phone. Okay? Then when that person comes back, discover that the person was keeping his or her items is not there. So then he starts asking, where is that guy? So others, they'll say, which one? I gave him my laptop. He was looking after my laptop and other things. Then others will say, no, he said you are going out and you have decided to go back to your respective hostels, and he took the laptop. I don't know him. You see, it is gone. So the first thing, make sure even if you are leaving these items to a friend, this is the person whom you know. This is the person whom you trust. Maybe this one may be your classmate, you know. Okay? Maybe your roommate, you know. So that if there is any change in the program, that person can easily check on you to say, is this true? There was a case in a library where somebody came, was studying. Then there was this other criminal who was just monitoring this student. So he came, he followed. So the student went to, there's the, went to American Corner or whatsoever. Then that criminal had a chance to go there and said to the colleague, I want to take this bag. He says, the owner says, we should go. He's tired, she's tired with the studying. So that one said, okay, it's fine. Because this one did not hand over these items to me. So this one takes the bag. But now, when this person was entering the library guards or personnel had also put an eye on him. And so they kept on monitoring him. And then later, when he wanted to go out of the library with that bag, he was stopped because they asked him, when you were entering the library, you did not have a bag. But now you are coming out of the library with a bag. Who is the owner of the bag? So he said, no, no, it's for my friend. So then they said, no, we are keeping this bag. Go and tell the owner of the bag to come. But as this was happening, they kept on monitoring his movement. Later, he was arrested. So this one was just lucky. But some cases, you discover that your bag is gone. And your laptop is the engine of your studies. All your study materials are there. Please take heed of the advices. Thank you.
If there are no questions or comments, thank you.
That was a very insightful and engaging presentation, and I hope we have really learned a lot from both from the contribution of the security liaison officer and the DOSA. And of course, I noted Zinto Zingabo. Should not be reactive, but proactive. Eh? So ndimauti amoneka apa izi kwambiri koma ndinozofunikira kwambiri. This the same as saying prevention is better than cure. You see, so safety should not only be reactive. Kudi chinthu chikachitika, that's when you start applying the principles and the knowledge you have learned today. But then we have to be taking steps in making sure that we are protecting ourselves to deal with these issues before they happen. And presentation imagwira kose kose gero malishikiri mava iphone kuti location kupanga tanone location ine ndandroid wange ni apa sipakugwira pe musoksi ndrama kuika muyani musoksi ndizo nzoti they don't look that serious, but then when it happens to you day na you remember kuti ndikanavaa soksi ija ndikuika musoksi mudola ija bwisana ndani bwisana ndibere nde akuti manumbers iso kumaloweza manumbers anthu otani ofunikira number ya clutch ingakuthandize mavuto ngati sizingatheke you're supposed to have kumaloweza number munthu oti friend wako you know kuti atawa serious mati masloti kumakhala ndi ma boys oti there mascreen people like me wamezeka my group. Yeah, so yeah, and of course the dosa said shortcuts are wrong cuts osama user of course I know kuti ama screen and of course the security liaison officer anapanga clarify on how these issues we have to deal with them, how practical they are, because of course these are just ideas, and then also have to look at how they can be applied background and explained about my groups, how they are. Sometimes you make slots, you wish have boys and them, but then you see boys we have to be looking at my issues in Garamino as well. So now the next segment of our session today, we're going to deal with what to do after security incident and some remarks about evidence. So this, of course, this presentation will come from Council Sigele Chira. And before she comes to the stage, let me give you a brief background of who she is. Of course, I know her. She's my lecturer, so yeah. Council Sigele Beauty Shira is a legal practitioner with 10 years of experience. Sigere is also a cherished part-time lecturer at MUBAS. She holds a Master of Laws, LLM, from the University of London. And a Bachelor of Laws, of course, you like to say LLB, from the University of Malawi. Sigela works for the Legal Aid Bureau as the Assistant Director. Legal Aid Bureau. You know Legal Aid Bureau, right? You have at some point. You need. Okay. Is the Assistant Director at
national level on the good, because we have to be clear about these things. And she held this southern region offices. We are honored to welcome her for a second time as a speaker here at MUBES, because at the first session we had, she was also available. And last time she informed us about application for bail issues, and today she introduced to us other issues to do with criminal law. You know how safety and security is attached and aligned with criminal law. So we are keen to hear what she can tell us and on how to respond to incidents and how we can support the correction of evidence. So a round of applause for Council Sigele Shira.
Thank you so much. The Director of SoBES, thank you so much. Can you hear me? No, you're not. Okay, thank you so much, the Director of SoBES. All protocols observed. I'm so happy to see my students here. Can you just raise your hands and wave me? Just to see how proud I am of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, as the Director of SoBES has said, today we are going to look at security incidents at campus. But it has to do with criminal law. And guess what I chose? Somebody can, one guess? Any security incident which is attached to criminal law? Anyone who can guess? Sexual assault at campus, yes. Remember, safety should be what? Proactive, isn't it? Not reactive. We have not said it has happened to you, but it can happen to anyone. True or false? True. Yeah? So we need to be proactive. So today, I'm bringing you safety in sexual assault. First question to answer. What is sexual assault? Nancy. I trust you. Huh? What comes to your mind when you hear sexual assault? Or anybody? It's an interactive lecture, isn't it? I need to get your views and I give you mine. Anyone who can help? What do you understand when you hear the word sexual assault? Yes, sir. Thank you. Anybody else? Law students? Yes.
Forcing someone. It's more of like forcing a partner sexually to have an interaction without their consent.
Thank you so much. Both are right, yeah? So when you talk about sexual assault, this is an unlawful act which is sexual in nature and it violates another person's rights and body autonomy. Yeah? It is a crime. It is a crime by law. It is often motivated by aggression, rage, and the one doing that may use a weapon or not. Yeah? This is whereby someone is doing sexual acts on somebody without their what? Consent. And when I say sexual act, I don't just mean the real sex. It can be kissing, fondling, molestation. It goes all the way to rape. Yeah? That means there are a lot of ways how someone can sexually assault somebody. So here on campus, can sexual assault happen? How? By who? By who? Law students, what do I say always? We all do have a criminal what? Mind. The boy, the woman you're sitting next to can do criminal what? Activities. So we are all guilty until proven what? innocent. That's what I say. Yeah? So sexual assault can happen on campus. A lecturer assaulting a student assaulting a what? A lecturer. A student sexual assaulting a fellow what? Student. Or an intruder sexually assaulting a what? A student. These are what? Possibilities. Yeah? Mukupita kuchitawira mwadutsa kanjira kaja dosatu zoti madutse kaja mwakumana ndi venda wakupangani sexual assault zote, right? Because you have used a wrong what? Wrong card. Yeah? So for you to be safe, remember to use the what? The what? Are you in here? I need your feedback. One of the safety ways is to use the right parts, right? That's the starting point. But what defines sexual assault? How do you know that I've been sexually assaulted? As I said, it's not just about the sex, the penetration, no. It entails a lot of things. Number one, somebody intentionally touches somebody. The touching, yeah? You can touch somebody, but where are you touching that person? You are touching the person on the wrong part. Nobody can just come and touch your breast. Will you like it? Yeah? Touch your bum. Will you like it? For boys in here, you have kept your mustache and someone just comes and starts playing with it. Is that right? Huh? No. You're sitting to a girl in class. He starts playing with your zipper in class. Is that okay? So when we talk about sex assault, it can happen to anyone. A woman can sexually assault when they do the criminal acts, they are even worse. Yeah? Munamva manena kuti mfiti yaikazi makhala yotani yopya. I think it comes from there. Yeah? So you touch somebody, but you touch that somebody at the wrong what? Place. That somebody does not consent to the touching. Don't stop. That one, there's no issue. Right? But the one you're touching is not what? Consenting. So when somebody touches your butt without your consent, you have been sexually what? Assaulted. Right? You are sitting in a class and somebody starts caressing your thigh because you're wearing a miniskirt. What's that? Sexual assault. So it may include kissing, as I said, touching somebody's genitals, yeah, bottom, breast, touching somebody's part of the body for sexual pleasure. It's not wrong, but the way he's touching it, the way she's touching it, if it's for sexual pleasure, then that's a what? Assault. You know that? Some people do touch places that you can't even think that they are fantasizing anything. But when you see that this one is touching me for pleasure, that's sexual what? Assault. Yeah? So, sexual assault comes in many levels. There's level number one. This involves no injuries. Yeah? Because remember, there's an assault at the end. Yeah? This assault doesn't leave the victim with any injuries, but the victim has been assaulted. An example that I've just given is you being touched in your bum. You haven't had any bruises, isn't it? But you have been what? Assaulted. Somebody touching your breast without your consent, you have been assaulted, but there's no sign, no bruises whatsoever. That's level number one. Level number 2 of assault is whereby you're threatened to consent to sexual assault. Yeah? For example, here at campus, what example can you give me? A threat, how can it come? A lecturer threatening you to fail his course unless you give in. It goes both ways, male lecturers or female what? Lecturers, yeah? Threatening you to say, no, if you don't do this with me, then, my dear, I will die away. Yeah? So you're threatened. So that's another form of what? Assault. So there, because it's just a threat, you're not what? Wounded. But there's an impact, isn't it? You're being duressed, you're being coerced to do something. Third level of assault. This is whereby there is wounding. Yeah? You are wounded, you're maimed, in sexual assaults, disfigured. Yeah? Yeah? If you use that wrong card going to Chitawir, and sometimes people's lives have been endangered at this kind of level of assault. This is whereby, as I heard her right, she said, you find maybe assailants with panga knives. Yeah? They're saying, lie down, I want to have sex with you. What do? Can you just lie down? You say, please, no. And they hack you. Just for you to what? To give in. That's level number 3. So, examples of sexual assault offenses in Malawi. What can they be? Anyone? Sexual offense in Malawi? Defilement, yes. But before we talk of defilement, remember we talk of attempted what? It can be attempted defilement, rape, attempted rape, sexual exploitation, incest, and forced marriages. Just because there are other non-law students, I'll go and explain what we mean by this. Rape. This is whereby someone has unlawful carnal knowledge of a woman without her consent. Unlawful carnal knowledge of a woman without her what? Consent. The woman doesn't want. You're forcing her. That's rape. And what's the punishment for rape? What's the punishment for rape? Life imprisonment. That's the maximum. Yeah? So before you rape somebody, think that you may be imprisoned for what? For life. Attempted rape, it's whereby you really wanted to penetrate somebody, but due to unforeseen circumstances, you failed. But the court will say, no, intention. What was your intention? To rape, isn't it? They wouldn't say that because you failed, then you can go. They will still say, no, your intention was evil. You wanted to rape this woman, but you failed because her children came, her friends came. You'll still be imprisoned. For how long? For life as well. Okay? So I'm just giving you examples of sexual assault. So if you have sex on campus without your consent, that's rape. Unfortunately, sadly, the people who rape other people, they're not animals, they are people. Some are sitting in here. And anyone can do it. True or false? True. So here at campus, you can be raped by a fellow student. You can be raped by a lecturer. You can be raped by a guard. You can be raped by an intruder, someone who just comes in. Yeah? So we need to be aware of that. Another form of sexual assault offense, it's incest. Here, I don't know if it can happen at campus. Incest is whereby you have sexual relations with your relation, your brother, your sister, your father, your dad. Can it happen at campus? Yes. Are there not siblings here? Many siblings are here. You'll find that a brother and a sister are here, and they can engage in sexual what? Activities. One of them is being what? Assaulted. The one who did not initiate. For example, nyamata yo ndiswazi. Tikati swazi ndo samata kuti ndikoti. Kufunsira. Hedi. Ndiswazi. Koma waona kuti wamwita na sister wake. Kuti sisi. And they engage in that. The sister did not want. That's incest, and it's a criminal what? Offense. You can go report, even if it's your uncle, who is maybe, who, for lack of a better word, we can say he's a dean of some faculty, has done that to you to say, no, uziwa, meona bwera kunoko, kuti ukhozetu ndine. Amayi ako ndache mwali yanga kome wesi mbale wanga. He does that to you. It's sexual what? Assault. So sadly, it can even come from your what? Relation. Okay? Indecent assault on females. Yeah? Assaulting females. So this one is biased, isn't it? It's saying on females. Are men not assaulted? They are as well. Yeah? Because remember, Miss Chirimira here is saying she's for the girl child. Yeah? And I was happy when she said that, because I am for the what? For the boy child. Yes. So we have a balance here. She is for the girl child, and I'm saying I'm for the what? For the boy child. So this section 137 and 138 of the Penal Code, I feel it's biased because it just talks about indecent assault on what? Females. What about my boys? They can equally be what? Indecently what? Assaulted. So as I'm talking to you, feel it at campus, anyone can be what? Assaulted. Defilement can even happen here. Procuration is another way of assault. This is whereby you're forcing a woman under the age of 21 to have sex with that one. Alipo muna gwira muno? Gwira mulimo. Amene muli ndi zibwezi mulimo? Mulimo. Have you had time to look at the ID of your girlfriend? You may think she's 20. You may think she's 24, and you force yourself on her. Then you'll be questioned by the law under this one, proculation, because she's under the age of what? 21. Don't go to Nancy. Nancy is 18. As tall as she looks. You see? So you don't go by how somebody looks. Yeah? She may look older than her age, but in reality, she's a child by the law. So if you force somebody who is below 21 to have unprotected sex, not unprotected, unwanted, sorry for that, unwanted sex, then you are you are in trouble. And punishment for that is 14 years going upwards. All right. So what are the effects on a person who has been sexually what? Assaulted? Any effects, do you think? Ukapangidwa assault, pama kama effect ali wose pamoyo wako? Ngati jani? Trauma. Yeah? You feel, number one, you feel guilty. You think this is my fault. Why not Mary but me? Right? You start self-blaming yourself. Is it because I wore bum short? No. Is it because I've got a big butt? Because I've got big boobs? You know, you start blaming yourself. Is it because I am a boy who is so handsome? I'm a masculine boy that anybody would want to see my muscles. You know, the first point is you start blaming what? Yourself. Was I in the wrong place? Yeah? After that, there's also a decline in your mental health and physical what? Health. Because for sure, for sure, you can go. So, your mental health is affected, isn't it? For example, it happens to you at campus, and amesho adziwa kuti iweyo you have been sexually assaulted. Iwe nda amesho ndi Russia, ndi Iran. Simuyangana na eye to eye. How can you feel? Nkhani jayatani kodi? Yapita. You'll be walking as if you're naked, isn't it? You feel like when you find people laughing, you think they are laughing at who? At you. So your mental health will be what? Affected. And you become edgy and fearful. Kalikose kumangopa. Kalikose kumangopa. Skefa sang a song. Chinamuluma jaguda. China chiti chose becomes fearful. Muntasa kupange hai, you feel like he wants to do something. Ntsika nasawira ne gurumu, you feel you will be molested. Yeah? You lose trust in people. Yeah? For example, the example that I gave on incest, your uncle is the one who has done that to you. Can you believe your boyfriend? Can you believe your classmate? No. So you live in fear. And the Bible says that God did not give us a spirit of what? Of fear. Already, things are not telling there. On the other hand, we are supposed to be fearless. But because this has happened to you, you are now becoming what? Fearful. You do avoid friends. They want more when they are sexually assaulted. They tend to separate themselves from the crowd. And some extremes do go for self-harm. I had a friend who was molested when we were here at Pole. She ended up harming herself. She just said, let me just die. So sexual assault leaves bad effects on the victim. Remember, a girl or a boy can be what? Assaulted. And there are levels of what? Assault. Yeah? So it can happen to anyone. So safety now is coming in. What do you do after you have been sexually assaulted? What should you do? Sit down and cry? Call your mother in Rumpi, who, like my mother, will have her phone switched off by 6 o'clock. As if the phone at night consumes units. I don't know. Will you do that? Number one, you need to prioritize safety and support. Go to a person who knows that this one can support me. Yeah? There are 4, if not 3, categories of people. You have people, odds one are now. Yeah? Then, no. You have got people, odds one are now. Those who may know you. Yeah? Ulindi antu opposite now. Right? Odds one are now, they know that is Linda. That is James. That is Brian. That is Sigele. Number 1. Number 2, opunzira now. You don't even bother to know them, isn't it? You know them as classmates. Yeah? As I'm looking at you, I know some are my students, but I can't say their names. But I call them my what? My students. Yeah? Then there are those people you can call what? Friends. Those who you can run to. Those of you who are on TikTok, meet my small what? Seiko. I looked at it and say, are you saying the truth? If I can go to this one, is this one your small Seiko? Strangely, you find that Linda posts Brenda as her small what? Seiko. You go to Brenda's TikTok, Linda's not there. It can what? It can happen. So before you call somebody a friend, be sure, are you the friend or are you friends? There's a difference. Are you the friend or your friends? So you only have to go to somebody who can support you. And this can be a friend, a relative. Ma relative ena sotu ndoononga red. Maka tima auntie. Tima auntie, tima unonga zintu. So go to a relative ameni umamvana naye. Are we together? It can be your sister. Ngati mwana ndiweweka wanu, you still have somebody ameni ungatani ungayankhule nawo kuti akupange support. You don't go to a person who will embarrass you. Umatani. Chifukwa chanu nakapezeka kumeneko unachita walondola dala. Why would he touch your bump amene panali anthu ambirimbiri? But we are only queue. We are keen to go in class. So don't go to somebody who you think will humiliate you more. Number 2, if there was penetration, seek medical care. Eti? Panopoti mapita kutiko. One stop center. Yeah? Osapita chipatala wamba. When you're sexually assaulted to the point that penetration happened, you go to one stop center. Why? You need to get the prep. Yeah? Kunja kunatani kwadi? Kunaopya. So know where to go. You don't go to a private clinic in these matters. Go to one stop center. So if there was penetration, preserve the evidence. Preserve the what? The evidence. What kind of evidence am I talking about? Preserve the evidence of sexual assault. Let's say there was penetration. What evidence can you preserve? Hello? You have the answers, but I can't hear you. Preserve the evidence. For example, let's call a spade a spade. A torn pant. Yeah? Because there was struggle. And underwear will be torn, isn't it? If there was penetration, there'll be what? Sperms, yeah? Left. You don't just go and shower before you go to the hospital. You need to preserve that what? Evidence. That when you go to the hospital and say, I've been assaulted sexually and I need your help, they'll know how to help you. Mukamapita one-stop center, mutasamba. Akangonena kuti atakuonani, tupitano siti napwetekeke, tengani panado mukatani? Mukamwe. Mukapita muli mmene mwachokera pa crime scene. Akaona kuti, oh, she needs prep. She needs to be checked of STIs. Manifested. So preserve the evidence that you receive the needed what? Help. Report. Remember what the chief security said? You first report to him, isn't it? Before you report to what? Police. Yeah? After that, you can go for mental health what? Support. Are we together? You don't just go to police to report without going through the protocols. Azabwera kunoko ndikuzafusa. Alinda kuna kuti was sexually assaulted. Iwa ajazakana. Can you see it? Yeah, so report through the proper channels. However, even now with the social media, if you just Google where to get sexual assault assistance, you found like one-stop center situated at Queens, Elizabeth. Mwina simu kuzotiri kuti. Pa Queens pompa. Ukozongo pita. Ne? Zakushitikira mwina uli kunyumba. Zompa Central Hospital, Nzu Central Hospital, Kamu Central Hospital. Yeah? There's a line of crisis line, which is a gender-based violence crisis line. We just dial 5600. It's a 24/7 line. Yeah? In case that maybe you have no idea who to talk to, you can call that line. Yeah? Police hotline in Tetsankaza. But this shouldn't be your first point of call, isn't it? Yeah? You can also call that. Youth helpline, you can also call that. And Genet Malawi as well. It's a crime handling online counseling institution. So if it gets worse that you need to get legal help in assault, where do you go? Because sometimes you can say, maybe I'll brush this off, but sometimes it gets worse, isn't it? Remember, it is a criminal what? Offense. You are raped. Where do you get your legal help? Where? Because knowing your safety is knowing where to get it, isn't it? You can't say I'm safe when you don't know where to get your help. Number one, Malawi Human Rights Commission. Yeah? Where are they in Blantyre? In Blantyre? Because you're here at campus. Malawi Human Rights Commission, where are they? Then you're not safe. Chitawila, where there's a building where there's clear. You know it. Chitawila BP. Puma, is it? Yes. The next building, there's a clear building there. That's where they are found. Legal Aid Bureau, you know where they're found? The same building that caters immigration. Then we have got Survivor Support Unit. Blantyre Police, Main, you can find them. Women Lawyers Association, the same building that has got Claire. Then we have got UNECO in Blantyre. You can all go to these places and seek legal assistance. But you don't start seeking legal assistance before you get your medical what? Help, isn't it? Because your life is important. For you to be going to court, that means you have got a healthy what? Life. So, when you go to police, to say that maybe you have gone to the chief security and then you have said, let's go to police. This is what you're supposed to do. Try not to drink anything like alcohol to say, no. If there has been penetration, as I already said, don't wash. Don't go to get a shower, go as you are. Even when you're reporting to the chief security, go the way you are. Yeah? Torn clothes, if you're a man, you go the way you are. That whosoever sees would appreciate that indeed there was a struggle. If it has been that you've been wounded, even inside the thighs, you need to show, because that's evidence to say that there was what? Struggle. You need to show. Sometimes push comes to shove. Right? Yeah? Because you need what? Help. So that's the kind of evidence. No matter it's him that you're showing, but he has to appreciate how bad the assault is. So the police will get a statement and proceed with a criminal matter. At the hospital, you'll be seen by a doctor. They'll take your history to say ngatiso madwala zinthu zina. They'll give you PERP and the STI treatment in cases that they have found anything. They'll also give you counseling. And you're giving total care so that you're not what? Mentally disturbed. But there have been challenges. There have been challenges in the system. As you and me believe that sexual assault is real, but there have been legal challenges. Number one, people don't report sexual assault. Why do you think it's like that? They don't report. Stigma, fear of being ashamed. Ndikapita kwa dosa ukawuza kuti zandishitikira izi zikhala bwanji. Ndikapita kwa head of security ndikawuza zichitika bwanji. But one thing that you're forgetting, these people keep a lot of what? Secrets. Yeah? They have been here before you came here. So don't feel ashamed. Go and report. Okay? And sometimes when we go to court with sexual assault, there is this element of corroboration. Who was there? Who saw you entering that? What happened? Do you have any witness? That's why I say you need to keep each and every what? Evidence even a message. Now you're on WhatsApp, isn't it? You can even record a phone call, yeah? That somebody is threatening you to do something, yeah? So there are so many ways that you can gather what? Evidence. When you want to involve the police, as he has already put it, please go through the proper what? Channels. And the other thing that makes people not to report is the cultural factors. Just 2 weeks ago, someone from my class, not criminal law, but general principles of law, called to say, I've just realized that I failed and I need to repeat. That means I need to come second semester and start first year, second semester. I said, oh, that's bad. Did you tell your parents? I can't. I can't. That was a bunch of my young. What if the what if started? She's still on campus. I'll play along. I'll just say that I'm still here. Ma what if I'm a person who's ambiri? Yeah? Iniyo musaziyankire mafuso kuti what if? What if what? What if what? Face it what? Head on, because you need what? Help. You might find kuti wauza ama yako sokukhala supportive. Mwana wanga zatero ndikubwera ku blanta yako mwiko. Munazoona right? A relation kubwera kuza kupanga support. I know some mothers abweraza kumenyera konkono. It can also happen. So cultural factors also make people not to report sexual assault. In conclusion, if you have been sexually assaulted, do not feel less of yourself. Remember, it is not your fault. Don't self-blame yourself. It is not your fault. It is the fault of the other person. Yeah? Number 2, continue to participate in social activities after being sexually what? Assaulted. It's how you heal. You don't heal by hiding from people. Madziwa? Ukamabisala, chintu jeshimangukula. Even if I say when you fail and you're repeating, still come on campus and say, hi, hi, hi. You should familiarize with it. And life what? Goes on. So don't isolate yourself. Still participate in social activities. Oma ndineneso chonchi. Ngati sexual assault yako inachitika ku social weekend. Ndikunena kuti usadzapite koso. You go, but you be careful, isn't it? Maybe that day you were drunk. Somebody dragged you anakupatsa kachasu. Iwo sakudziwa uwona ngati kumwa enjoy. It can happen, isn't it? You ended up in his room and you wake up and say, what happened? Then you remember the enjoy that you took. Next time when you go to social weekend, even fanta ukakanatu. Yeah? So you need to be careful. Socialize, but be what? Careful. Remember to reconnect with people who can support you. Yeah? Osangoti wina aliese. Connect with the people that can support you. And also make new friends. It helps sometimes. Sometimes change of friends may also what? Help. New friends like amene wawa suduka ngotenga no the bad boys kapena the bad girls, right? New friends that can support you. Lastly, believe in yourself. Iwe ukanguyamba uziyang'anira pansi. Alisazi kuyang'anira pati? Pansi. Inu munaona kwa anthu ena ake oti achena. Ndiwoneka bwino. Chilichonse chili mchimake. Ndaliso chonchi. Uko chonchi. But they don't have confidence in themselves. Munaona apo? And people bully them because they don't have the what? The confidence. Kumuona amene akumpanga bully yo. When you just show somebody that you don't have confidence, that's when you start to become vulnerable. So, believe in what? In yourself and have the confidence. Thank you so much. I can take any questions that you have for me or any comments.
Thank you, Council, for the very good presentation with experience, examples in it. Why is it that she presented all those experiences so that you should have that confidence that once something happens to you, you also be able to remember what she has said and how to act. I just wanted to add on something to do with the reporting. The others who have maybe their relations around and they feel like we cannot go to Madam Dosa nor to go to Mr. Banda, but there's someone whom they feel very comfortable to report, or whether I'm a fellow member of staff, we are open. You can report that case to that person, or you have maybe some of your relations who are working in the Malay Police Service. You can report that case to a police station. But soon after reporting, you have to let us know, so that we should also be in the know that such a thing has happened to our student, and that we take appropriate measures to make sure that the case is handled with utmost professionalism, so that we preserve your privacy. This especially to you girls, you females. Sometimes you are so shy to report these issues. Be open. Be open. We have handled so many cases of sexual assaults here on campus. And some of the students, maybe some of them were drunk, as she has highlighted. They went out with a man, more especially chase and the blues. These are the most common places where we get these cases. On their way back to their hostels, they get assaulted. But when they come, they report. We follow proper protocols to preserve your privacy, but at the same time to make sure that justice prevails. So be assured that your cases will be handled with utmost professionalism and privacy. Just feel okay to report if you have. Men, guys, ambiri nafeso timango khala chonchi. Ambiri timakhala chonchi. Mwamuna salira. Muvulala. Hi, that's why others commit suicide. Okay? We don't want to be hearing those cases. Share your problems, share your issues, so that we see how best to help. Okay? We value your life. Okay? Thanks a lot.
Can you give your contact so that everybody knows how to reach you if they have an issue?
Thank you. As I said, my phone is 24/7. Okay? Each and every time, any time you call me, I'll respond. And my wife is now used to that. She's used to that. She doesn't complain. Okay? So I'll give you my phone number. My number is 0888 615648. 0888 615648. Henry Banda. For email address, It's hgbanda@mubas.ac.mw. Email address hgbanda@mubas.ac.mw. You need some more details on that one? Yeah, you can call at any time. Even if maybe you have other personal issues, you can call. We may be of help, okay? But not these personal issues zake zokhanga kuti zina zake. Okay, but you are depressed, you have some issues that sometimes it becomes difficult for you to think straight, bring them forward. If there are issues that my office cannot handle, but I know the offices that can handle those issues. So you say that I may direct that issue to the office of Director of Students Affairs, in whose office there are also some sub-offices, at least, to make sure that you are helped. Thank you.
Mwamva right? Yes. Sikuti mukangolemba kuti hi, hey. Ngati mukulemba message, introduce yourself, say your problem. Yeah? You don't hi somebody 12 koloko usiku and expect munthu anene kuti hello. Yet you call, say your problem. All right. Any other question?
Thank you for the opportunity. So my question is, in a situation whereby in a relationship, and then maybe you were sending each other notes, or and then one of you decides to leak those notes, is that a form of sexual assault? And if it is, apart from the dean and Mr. Henry, where else? What other clubs or people that can offer help? And also the other question is, in that kind of a situation, what can you advise someone to do? The very first action they can take. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The very first advice that I can advise on notes is don't take them. Don't take them in the first place. I always say, it's funny. If someone wants to see your nakedness, let that person come. As simple as that. As simple as that. Invite that person. I say, uliku, ufuna manuti, bwera mawa. Uzanduona. Why am I saying that? It starts like a relationship. Relationships end. And when a relationship ends, that means there's bad blood. Yeah? The other person, you send that nude pictures to that person consensually, without any duress, isn't it? That's where the trigger part comes in. When you are sending, you are not coerced. You send them willingly. Do they give instructions to that person not to share to anybody? No. You are sending them out of love. Whoever he shares with. And how sure are you that he will keep them? You people trust so much. How sure are you that the best friend will not see your nakedness? So the message that I can preach on that one, don't send. He may not send them to anybody, but the phone gets maybe, stolen. Maybe the phone has a problem. He takes it to a repair. Then he's trying to see, you are there naked. That man in Blantyre Market, that man in Limbe Market, what will you do? Share. The next minute, your parents are calling you. You are all over Facebook. So don't trust too much. It's a relationship, not a marriage. Remember that. And it can end at any what? Anytime. From today. So be careful. Another question?
Thank you for this opportunity once again. For me, I have a concern. As you mentioned earlier on, to say some of the criminals we might be in here, right? To assault our fellow friends, right? For me, my concern is to the girls. Sometimes, we boys, we're boys, all right? It might happen intentionally. We didn't want to assault our fellow gender, another gender, but looking at the way they're dressing, it might trigger someone, all right? So to the girls, sometimes the way you put on your clothes, it should be significant. So that also maybe if you are being assaulted and you go to report, the one you're reporting to should also understand to say, okay, you're dressing okay, but then you're being assaulted. It is very understandable. But looking at the way you're dressing, you see you're in a miniskirt or something like that, and then you're reporting that you've been assaulted. I mean, it should make sense. So yeah, that was my concern.
Okay, let me, Ms. Chirimila, help me with that.
First and foremost, dressing does not excuse sexual assault. I can choose to walk around naked. You are choosing to act in that manner. So your dressing does not constitute an excuse for you to touch me inappropriately. It does happen in situations where I think that's why some people, I think I wanted to make a comment on that, where some people are failing to express because you tell the first person or you tell your aunt and they start telling you, "Como unavala bwanji." Even, I know it's a cultural norm when you're around older people, msavali zazifupi azibambo akaona miendo akaona manja. Yes, we've instilled that culture in our minds, but that does not determine someone to act. What's stopping him from touching my bum? I'm wearing tight pants today. What's stopping him from touching my bum? He can see the outline of my bum. It's not a reason to touch someone. You can see my thighs. Doesn't mean you must touch them. They're not yours. Touch your girlfriend's thighs if she says yes. Don't touch mine. So dressing is not an excuse. And if you were dressed in a certain way, you were comfortable in that way. If you go to social weekend, people I've seen when I was a student, people used to pass there naked. It doesn't mean because some man is passing there naked means I must touch him. No. It's the same with a girl. If she's wearing a miniskirt at social weekend or she's going to the club, she's going there for fun. It doesn't mean you must touch her. Thank you.
All right. I do agree with Ms. Chirimia. So here is my answer to you. When you're hungry, do you eat any food that is around you? Whether the food is yours or not. Do you? Do you? You don't. Why? It's not yours. When you apply the same mind when it comes to sexual things, you live longer. All right? You don't just take anything just because you want it. Yeah? You take only what belongs to you. As I started teaching here, that's 3 years ago, my first cohort of law. By that time, I was a bit plump. Yeah? So as I was coming to class, they didn't know that I was the lecturer. So I was passing there and somebody commented, "Hey, Ndali ndi tawot." This was a student that I was going to lecture. So I went in class, and instead of starting from what is law, I started with assault. All right? I felt assaulted because the whole time I was lecturing, all I was hearing is what? And that made me go home and look at the mirror and say, where? Where? Even if I have it, it's mine, isn't it? Should I change myself just to fit in? No. So same way, even if next time I'm coming to present something, I'm wearing a miniskirt, that's my choice. This body, you cannot touch. The moment you do, you are committing a what? a crime unless I consent. As simple as that. Consent should be the most thing to think of. Right? Maso atu atimaona zambiri mbiri. And there's freedom of dressing. What if you are in a plane? Yeah? And because they are going to different what? Destination. Are you going to be raping everybody just because of the way they are dressing? You also need to control what? Yourself. As bambo, mumapita kumajim, right? Muguma manners ujenis. Have you seen ladies, they just come to you? It happens? That's assault. But basically, I don't think they'll just come, hey, deshin chafudu, chapangatu, gym, yeah, we know. They wouldn't do that. And when you're going to the gym, what do you wear? Small boxes. And the whole thing is out there. We come and, why can't you give us the same word? Respect. As simple as that. Another question? Another question? Yes, sir. Mike at the back.
There are certain situations where you notice that sexual assault is being happening, and you can't confront the one assaulting the minor. Let's say it's a minor or a girl or any other person. So you wish to deal with that behavior, but you can't just confront that person because of other reasons. Is there any other way you can report anonymously without being involved yourself? As in, the person who's being assaulted, they can't report for themselves because of stigma or other reasons, or they are being what can I say? Yeah. So I just wanted to understand if there are certain ways that you can take to deal with such behavior anonymously. Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you are hearing me in my presentation, I gave toll-free lines that you can report to different institutions. Yeah? When you call there, they will not ask you, no. They'll ask you, where is the incident? When did it happen? Who is the victim? That's what they want to know. They don't want to know you. So you can use those toll-free lines to say, I want to report of a scenario that has happened at SoBES. Huh? What are the hostels? The names? Nika, Kapenga, is it still there? Kapeni, yes. In Kapeni 201. Yeah? You can report that. So yes, you can report anonymously. But at the same time, I'm thinking, let's say it's your Mesho. Who is in that situation? Can you not go to the DOSA? Can you not go to the chief security and say, I don't want to get involved, but this is what is happening? I should believe they should understand. Yeah? To help that person without mentioning you. I believe so.
I think the DOSA wants to come in on that.
Thank you very much. You are likely, or you are to visit our office when you are to report a concern about the well-being or safety of yourself, another student, or the community, and disturbing behavior of a student or a member of the community. So what you asked, it's embedded in this sentence. You see somebody who is in danger, they are being harassed, you report to us. We are not going to report back to the person that, no, we got the information from so and so. No, you remain anonymous. We invite those who are concerned, we do the investigations, and then all the procedures have to follow according to the policies that we have. Thank you.
And also, if you observe things in your families outside the campus, we have the Child Care Protection and Justice Act that actually puts each and every member of a community under the duty to report to the police or the social welfare officer when he or she observed child abuse, and sexual abuse is a form of child abuse.
Yeah. Another issue is on a student being assaulted or harassed in whatever way by maybe a fellow student or a member of staff. But here I want to talk about a member of staff. If somebody has been harassed and they stay quiet, it means you're giving room for that person to harass somebody else. You are asked to report them. Don't be afraid that there will be, you know, repercussions and maybe my grades, maybe am I going to fail? No, you are protected as a student. Actually, when you report, that's when we scrutinize a lot about your academic progress. Where you have failed, it has to prove that you indeed failed because there were maybe some challenges with the preparations, not because somebody was reported and maybe is involved in taking you in one of the modules and because you reported them. No. So you are protected. Please report them because you may not be the only victim. There are issues to talk about, sexually transmitted grades and what have you. Please, if you're assaulted or you are both a student and also members of the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dosa.
Yes, and we have the protection from sexual exploitation policy and abuse at MUBAS that we mentioned in the first session. And while most of the policies on the MUBAS website are not available to the public, this policy is available for each and everyone to read in detail. And the Dean of Students Affairs will also install the suggestion box that is provided there, but you can also write an email, you can write a letter, you can slide a piece of paper under the door until the suggestion box is in place. Don't suffer in silence. That's what we want to say.
You have this policy in your portal and also the student rules and regulations. So if you go through them, you see that some of the issues are talked, we talk about them in the student rules and regulation, but also in the protection of sexual exploitation and abuse. We also have these issues. They have been shared to the students.
Thank you. That's great work from your office.
Thank you so much. Any other question before I conclude?
Is it lawful right to report someone else's case?
It is. If they cannot report for themselves, it is. Especially criminal matters. We do allow somebody to report for somebody. Yes. Another question?
Okay. So what about if the incident happened around midnight? So are you supposed to preserve the evidence till the other day, maybe?
No.
Okay.
Ndikukumbutseni zomwe anena a chief security. But his phone is what? 24/7. If you call at that time, I should believe he would come to where you are and take you to the hospital at that time. There are some scenarios that you can't wait, isn't it? Iweyo wagwiriridwa iweyo ndi mzimayi. Udikira mpaka mamawo kuti ukapange report. Ndesi kugwiriridwatu. Akugwirira lero ndi ozamba ukuwa mawu. I don't think so. Yeah? You need to act there and what? There and then, if indeed you have been assaulted. If you don't, then we'll start to raise questions. Were you really assaulted? You had time to sleep, and you are coming to the hospital at 12 the other day. No. Another question? Yes.
My question is, okay, like, to what extent do you define stuff like sexual harassment and sexual assault and that kind of thing? Because, I mean, commenting on, let's say I work out, I become buff, start wearing tank tops and stuff, then girls comment, he looks fine, whatever. Is that considered sexual harassment? And then let's say you decide to start wearing indecently. Let's say there's no formal dress code, and then you wear in some way that is more revealing and it attracts more comments as a result. Does that become like a fault on the commenter? Because you're going out in public, right? It's a given that people have an opinion about you. And yeah, it happens with being in public, that kind of stuff happens. So is that also considered sexual harassment, or I don't know, is that like degrees to this?
Thank you so much. The first question. When it comes to just calling you names, not doing anything to you, it's harassment, isn't it? Sending you messages, sexual messages. Yeah? It's harassment. The actual act is now when it comes to what? Assault. Zanvega? The next question. You say that you are dressing what? Indecently. It goes back to his question. Remember? If someone is dressing, you don't have to act criminally just because of the actions of another person. It's you. It's your mindset. Yeah? Have we had instances whereby people defile 3 months babies? Have you heard that? So the defense could be the baby was naked. Can you take that as a lawyer? Are you hearing me? No, maybe a 3 months old is extreme. Let's take a 5-year-old. Ana 5 years amasiko no mumaona. Agamainda machitogwira. Bina. So because you have seen that bad of a 5-year-old, you defile her. Are you justified? No. So dressing of somebody doesn't justify your act. Are we together? Yes. Any other question? So I want to end with this story on sexual assault. Remember, we are talking of sexual assault at the campus. As you have heard, I studied law at the Chancellor College. So, one social weekend, a friend of ours was dragged, yeah? And she was taken to one room where 9 boys, 9, not 1, raped her interchangeably. 9. Yeah? What she did, she went to report to the dean of students. By that time, she was a lady. So she reported and she was helped, but she isolated herself. She didn't tell even Mesho or any one of us. But this is what has started to happen. Her grades in all subjects what? Decreased. And that year, she was weeded. But the dean of students stood for her to say, no, she had this what? This problem. Let us give her another chance. As I am standing here, that lady, she graduated and she works in the bank. You know what saved her? She reported. So you might say, I am ashamed, but one of the days, it's going to take out something that you value so much. She's a banker. She was given another chance because of what? She reported. Don't feel ashamed. It's not your what? It's not your fault. So report sexual assault. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council, for that presentation. Ero magai kani irunde ai when godi dia serious kwambiri. Kani dia serious, very 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 serious, yeah. And I'm impressed by presentation. That's how lectures are. They are very very interactive. Of course, our exams are not interactive. Yeah. And of course, as you have noted, she in class we used to say she focuses on the real deal, eh? She is explicit. You know what I mean? Life is not censored. Life is not censored. So if we want to deal with life as it is, then we have to be dealing with the reality of it all. So just a recap from what she has presented, and of course, we also know that she said that everyone is a potential criminal. We all have we all have criminal minds. That's what she says. I don't know if it's being pessimistic or what, but then that's why she said that everyone has a criminal mind. And someone while he was asking a question, he noted that as well, that here while we're in here, we are all potential criminals. And of course, the famous statement that we are all innocent until proven guilty. We are all innocent until proven. No, that's what Madam Sigeri says. But then Madam Sigeri says, yeah, that's what. Yeah. So why did you correct me? I know that. I know that. I wanted no serious. I wanted to say this. We are all innocent until proven guilty. But Madam Sigeri says we are all guilty until proven innocent. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So why you're rushing? You're yeah. So that's the presumption of innocence, right? Yeah, section 42 of the Constitution. Yeah. So she noted that it can also happen to boys. Boys, boys. Most of us think about nena good. G ingadine, slime ingadine. Basi magari. Also mongodi godi. The girls can also assort us. Also mongodi in the green light. Imakagudi so imakasogudi in the sorry manager. Yeah, so consent is important. Of course, she gave level of assault 3. Yamba yo mid. It was mid. Like really no proof. Even if other could be proof, there was assault. Komano, yeah. Yuri ngali gudi sis na jirige physical. You can say gudi there were no bruises. Yan imakabe gudi in the yan. Assault. The other one was when there is threat to force consent, and she gave an example stuff, and the other one was mama toka wounded, people get disfigured. Another guy there asked even to point your banga urinate on a person. It happens, it happens. You see, our carry is in prison because of that. It happens. So of course, these issues I know that Zaga Zima saying every happened over 21 years. You also hate that, right? Yeah, I hate. Well, procreation, yeah, for procreation is specific to 21 years. So I think we have to look into that. Yeah. So there are a lot of ways to deal with these issues, as she provided that you have to find someone we're in mutual friendships with. Yeah. Someone would know that we know again in Bali, they don't regard us like that. Yeah. And she gave a good example of the train there to man Koli Masteras, Koli and Tuli, Makai Mega Masteras, Mobile, and they have to be mutual. Yeah. They have to be mutual. So she noted that you have to visit one stop center. That's why she noted good if you have been sexually assaulted for Heather as well, because before you you take legal proceedings, first of all your health matters more. So they gave from the security license. Yeah, I think she the one who gave the code. I think, madam, can you repeat? You gave you said 565. Like should there that for. Yeah. She'll share the numbers. Yeah.
Can I come in on the numbers? I think we will collect all the numbers that were mentioned today. I know you already put them in the PowerPoint presentation. You just didn't want to use it because you didn't know the role of the security liaison officer at the institution and wanted to make amends to that. We also have the helplines that we shared last week and the counseling at mubas.ac.mw and the security liaison officer and the police helpline. So we will make a whole sheet. In order to receive this information, please make sure that you have either registered online and written your email correctly, or that you leave your email on the registration desk before you leave, so that we can share these detailed, practical pieces of information with you as well. And also, I wanted to show some self-defense videos for which we don't have time, but I'll send you the links, then you can watch it together with your friends at a time when, when you're less pressed. So let's proceed with the program.
Okay, so yeah, of course, that was the next segment. She was supposed to share videos on self-defense, but then she said she emailed them to us. Of course, we also have the video, the survey. Yeah. Of course, now we have a chance to do the survey. I promised area the yeah. You can come and present.
So there was a survey that was circulated for people to answer. In summary, we had more males than females who responded to the survey. We had about 52.9% of males and 47.1 females. The questions range from whether you'd skip a class because it's dark outside, to do you stay off and on campus, but I'll get to the nitty-gritty of the suggestions, right? So there was a question where they said, are there specific areas on campus that you avoid at night because of poor lighting, other circumstances, or they just make you not feel at ease? You mentioned the ODL building, the main campus, the shortcut to Queens, as well as the NT area. Also the Chichiri campus, apparently people stay a lot when you're waiting for someone, or they make remarks towards students in those areas. These are also areas that people avoid at any time of the day because of obviously those situations. One of the notable places as well that people avoid is Badijede or at the bar. Obviously people are there drinking and they make certain remarks towards people of both genders. Do you know whom or which number to call if you feel not secure in your hostel or when you suspect a burglary? Most people said no, 75% said no, 25% said yes. At least today we can say we know who to call. We have the security liaison officer here. Have you ever witnessed a situation of physical violence on campus? He said yes, we've seen students being bullied, especially during the SRC elections. Remarks are thrown towards these people. Some has also seen a couple maybe fighting, or a guy is drunk and he just beats a girl. People in relationships, which is why we said anonymous tips can also be submitted. This is gender-based violence. A woman is not supposed to hit a man, and a man is not supposed to hit a woman. It goes both ways. Do you feel confident in handling the situation, or how did you react? Most people said they told this person to report to the police, and in the event that they were experiencing a fight, they told their boyfriend put them to the side so they don't get caught up in the situation. I'll move on to the nitty-gritty as well. We had a question where it said, if you had a budget of 1 million Gwaja, what would you do to improve the safety or reduce gender-based violence on campus? One of the suggestions was to have a campus safety escort program. They also put the budget there. They said 150,000 Gwaja per month. This is to create a 24/7 safe walk program where trained security or student volunteers escort students at night. So you recruit security personnel to escort the students during designated time slots to their hostels. Next is to have a gender-based violence response help desk with trained personnel. So these people are there to listen to your issues and help you navigate them, as well as how to report. Then the question again was asked, if you had 100 million Gwaja, what would you do? Now these people came with improving the lighting situation on campus. There are certain points in campus that are not visible. So at night, it's very unsafe for you to pass through. Also CCTV cameras so that evidence is there and we can track the faces of the people that are attacking or assaulting said students. Where it's no longer a he say, she said situation, but there's hard evidence showing your face that you did this to this person, as well as invest in continuous gender-based violence awareness and prevention programs, as well as self-defense classes. Now, the last question was, what would you need to feel safer on campus? More or less they were the same, but the emphasis was just enforce rules and punish those that do not follow. To feel safe at MUBAS, I would need measures about my personal safety. I would need CCTV cameras. I would need campus transport. And I would also need a place where I can secure my belongings, for example, a locker or secure hostel rooms to ensure and prevent theft. Anything else? It was, a series is powerful, but continuity is transformative. What happened? One student wrote, or one respondent wrote, what happens next after this talks are done? What comes after? Is it just the people that have experienced it that know? So he or she gave suggestions on establishing a gender empowerment committee and creating a mentorship pipeline. So first years are monitored and by a fourth year is monitored by an alumni, etc., etc. So people have a channel of places where they can respond to. Lastly, empowerment is not just about confidence, it's about structural safety, institutional accountability, and economic independence, and legal awareness, and cultural change. Those were the results from the survey and the responses. I do want to say one last thing before I do sit down. I want to attest to what Council said about reporting. When you report to the right people. All right. Yes, you can tell your friend. I know the first line of contact sometimes is, maybe I should tell the class rep. If it's a lecture, right? Maybe I should tell the class rep so that she's aware. But that's not really the best person. You go through 6 courses, yeah, every semester. There should be one of those 6 lecturers that you should be comfortable with. You can go to that person. There have been situations where students have come to me, have gone to the head, have gone to several people just to tell them that, madam, I'm experiencing X, Y, and Z, and always there to assist. It doesn't just have to be sexual issues. It could even be you're facing academic pressure. Maybe you're depressed or you're what. We're there to support you. It's part of our job, mind you. It's part of our job to mentor and support students. So come forward. Can be a female, can be a male student. I think I just want to attest to something that she said, boundaries. I think I've mentioned this in my class. My students know this. I tell male students, don't text me after 4:30. That's a boundary I've set. Why? I'm avoiding what you're saying. Remember? Because what do male students do? They text you hi, then you must answer hi. How are you? I'm good. Mind you, this is at 9 p.m. What do you mean at 9 p.m. you're asking me how I am? Get straight to the point, you know? Are you sleep? Why? Are you awake? Can I ask? No. Yes, but get straight to the point. And even my females, I always tell them, you can text me at any time, but also introduce yourself. Hi, madam, my name is Waguti. I would like to ask, and I'll respond. If I just see, okay, this is academic, yes, but at the same time, it's after 5 p.m. As a male student, I will respond to you the next day. If it's urgent, ask your classmate. There's someone in your class that is your friend or you, yes, that out and is. If that Yaza fails, the next morning I'll be able to assist you. That's a boundary to avoid certain things being misconstructed in situations. Because I've been on the other side where a text has been misconstructed in a way that makes you, the student, seem terrible or makes the other person seem terrible, as if they're insinuating something. So please, let's be open, come forward, talk to us, engage us. We'll be able to assist you. If we cannot, we'll direct you to the right people who are there to assist. This is their job. The DOSA has stressed this is her job. She's there for student affairs. Utilize her. And you guys are very lucky. It's a female DOSA. That's the most approachable person you ever meet. A female docent. Utilize her. You cannot go to her, maybe you don't find her office. Find the lecturer's number, talk to them. You don't go to the head of ECO, go to a executive assistant you find in the office. Anyone here, it doesn't even have to be a female. You can even go to male students, male lecturers and whoever. There's someone in your circle that you're comfortable with, be it a lecturer, be it a member of staff. Go to them, they'll be able to assist you. But don't just report to one person. The story she said, this lady was just lucky because the person she reported to actually remembered. But sometimes you report to one person and that person, what do? They don't care. Report, you're not seeing any action. You can tell 3 or 4 people and you're like, but I told Wagut. That's how we're able to assist you. And the grades do matter because we do look at your grades and we can attest and say, okay, yes, Wyatt, yes, she's a distinction level student. Now she's at the credit. What's going on? Or maybe she's on pass. What's going on? We ask and we engage and we make sure we help you. All right. Thank you so much. Are there any questions on the survey or I can take my seat? Was it an interactive session? Did you guys learn something? Okay. That's good. We'll see you next week then. Director of ceremonies.
Yeah, that was great. That was more practical, and of course, don't leave yet. We after the whole session, we're going to have a group photo. And for now, let me invite Council Puso Bengo, the head of Department of Law and Economics.
Thank you very much. This was a exceptional master of ceremony who kept us abreast with all the things that we have heard so that it really gets stuck in our minds. The issues that we found in the survey and also some of the issues that we heard between the lines in the last 3 sessions, we will summarize and bring to the attention of your offices, also the Director of Estates. I'm very grateful for Council Chirwa for her time. I know she is a super busy lady, always committed to do things promptly and to the facts. And we are really honored to have the cooperation with you. Can you please give a token of appreciation? A round of applause for Council Chirwa. And also a round of applause to Ms. Chilimira. I think the whole series wouldn't have taken place if it wouldn't have been for her and her personal story. Thank you very much for being here and for all your practical advice. And also, I would like to get a round of applause for the Dean of Student Affairs and for Mr. Banda. Please stand up. We are very grateful for your dedication and your openness and that you really care for our student population here. We don't take this for granted. I think we've all learned 1 or 2 pieces today. And I think we put this emphasis on assault and gender-based violence because you have seen for women to be successful, these underlying issues can affect how successful you are in life later. Please take a seat again. We will have the next session on real negotiation skills. How can I discuss in business? How can I make sure that I am part of a discussion? How can I be heard? Which arguments can I bring? How can I talk in order to be heard by others? That will be our 4th session, and that's in April, again on a Thursday afternoon. And then we'll have another one on bereavement and loss, something when we are torn down by emotions or even torn down by the financial impacts if we don't take the precautions to avoid property grabbing. So these are the 2 topics remaining. I'm grateful for the interest and the participation. here in this room, and as she said, there were ideas how can we carry this forward. Maybe we can create a kind of Facebook group for people who want to dig deeper into these issues, carry it on to the next year, maybe not in the same extensity of having talks, but to show that there is a student forum or a student and staff forum where we are jointly working towards an open atmosphere on campus, and also giving tips to each other how to keep safe, how to be heard, and how to be heard, be right, be safe, that we encourage each other for that. Thank you very much. I hand back to the Master of Ceremony to guide us to the group photo, and I hope to see many of you in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, so this is how we do our sessions, and on behalf of the organizing committee, again, let me thank you all for attending, and I would also encourage you all to keep attending the coming sessions. And if a group is going to be formed, I think the link will be shared so that all of us join. And of course, we are not many here, but then it's our responsibility to share this knowledge to other people, because with great power comes great responsibility, and power comes from knowledge. Knowledge is power. So from this knowledge here, yeah, we actually have to follow that. So I would ask for a volunteer to close with a word of prayer, and then after the prayer we go for a group photo. Anyone? A prayer. Yeah. We have a volunteer.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for being with us from the moment that we've started to this point that we've finished. We pray that you help us keep whatever we have learned at this place, and we should share it with other people, and we should utilize it as well, Lord. Bless each and all of us, Lord, who are here. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Let's go for a group photo outside.